Hey, this is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, the 3Ds to Success, where we share stories of people who use the 3Ds to success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And today I have Stacie Kiselman.
Hi,
Hey, great to have you, Stacie.
thanks for having me.
Stacie is a freelance writer, author, and coach. She started a business after she found out a full time job, after she couldn't find a full time job due to the aftermath of surviving a car accident. Being a freelance writer was supposed to be a temporary side hustle while she figured out her life. And 5 years later, she's still here as a full time entrepreneur. A year after the car accident, Stacie was diagnosed with epilepsy. After years of struggle, she started battling severe depression and anxiety. As a way of coping, she started journaling her life story. This journal 12 Years a Woman, My Journey to Happiness, is now available for purchase on Amazon. Stacie says, after I released my memoir, I saw an opportunity to start another venture, coaching. I'm a new life and career coach. As a freelance writer and coach, I work with students, job seekers, entrepreneurs, authors, and other professionals. Welcome, Stacie.
Thank you.
So, tell us your story of how you use what I call the 3Ds to success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in your life.
That's a very good question. So after the car accident, my life was completely on hold. Like all my plans went down the drain. I had plans to. It was the car accident happened pretty much 2 weeks before I graduated college. So I had a chance of not graduating at all. And
Wow.
luckily, my professors and the college administrators were very kind to me and were very understanding, and they let me graduate right when right when I was supposed to,
Good.
because they were just very accommodating. But the real world, so to speak, the workforce, the real world wasn't so kind to me. I was looking for a job. I was looking for a full-time job in human resources, which was what I was in college. And because of all the physical and the emotional aspects of the trauma that I was going through at the time, job seeking just wasn't very easy for me.
Mm.
And after 6 months of recruiters saying no to me or being called unprofessional because I couldn't physically go to a job interview, I got really, really tired
Mm.
of doing absolutely nothing and just staring at the ceiling. And I'm not the type of person that can just sit on my chair and or sit on the couch and do nothing. Like I need to know that I'm doing something, that I'm keeping busy, so to speak.
Mm.
And so I remember it was in March, actually 5 years this March. I took my credit card. I made a website, and I just started promoting myself as a freelance writer. I started out small. I started out with what I knew, which was writing and editing my clients' resumes and cover letters. Because again, I'm a human resources professional. I've worked as a recruiter before, so I know, and I knew at the time the ins and outs of the job seeking force.
Mm.
And then more as time went on, more opportunities came by, and so I what started out as just this $50 here and there became a full-time career, so to speak. So instead of just working on resumes and cover letters, I now work on things like I still work on resumes and cover letters to this
Mm.
day,
Mm.
but I also work on things like website content, um, government documents, scripts, etc., etc. I work on from projects from smallest to biggest, so there's no limitations to what I can and cannot do.
Great.
And then after because of the car accident, I started journaling, because as a freelance writer, it's great to write. I love writing, but as time goes on, as a freelance writer, you realize that you write for other people,
Mhm.
and writing for other people is wonderful. I mean, I get to learn things. I get to learn of so many things that I wouldn't have otherwise. Um, but writing for yourself is a self-care moment, and that's something beautiful, and it's therapeutic and it's cathartic. And so I started journaling my life, and what contributed, and I started journaling about what contributed to my depression. And so after doing so much research and reading about other people's experiences, I realized that there are so many people out there who have struggled with with what I have,
Mhm.
but don't have the resources to get help, because the self-help books are like, could be written by a doctor who retired in 1975, for instance. And sometimes reading a book from a medical perspective is not the best idea.
Yeah.
So I saw an opportunity to release a book, a self-help book, that is from a perspective of somebody who actually went through it. And so there was my opportunity to release this book, and it was something that was my private battle, and I made it public. And sometimes it's not the answer, but I made a choice to make it public. It was my decision.
Mhm. Mhm.
And after releasing the book, I saw another opportunity to start coaching, because I know that, again, and as I work with, uh, like you said, students, job seekers, entrepreneurs, authors, and other professionals. So, for instance, right now, I'm working with a woman who is currently in the process of writing her autobiography, like I have, and I'm mentoring her
Mhm.
through my experience. And I'm using my experience and my knowledge and my mistakes to mentor others. So I'm really giving, as all three of those, as a freelance writer, author, and coach, I'm giving something to my clients that I never had when I was starting out. So I'm giving my skills, my knowledge, and my my perspective to
Mhm.
my clients.
That's great. Great. Yeah. Having being able to do that for your clients is very important. To help them using your expertise to be able to help them. So, uh, this car accident seemed to be the moment in your life where like you said, it it, it was a crossroads. It was a thing that either at this point you either going to do this or this, and you chose to uh, take control of things and become a writer. What advice, what do you say to people who face similar circumstances, like similar crossroads, where something has happened in their life, and like you said, you had these plans, and this car accident just totally turned everything 180. What advice do you give to people?
I would say, don't just sit on your ass. Sorry,
That's
don't sit on
fine.
your
That's
butt.
fine. We can roll like that on my show.
Okay, I would say, don't sit on your ass and wait for things to happen, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about you. And opportunities don't just come to you. You need to create opportunities for yourself. And so, if sometimes your passion can become a career, as long as you make it happen, right? And so, even if you fail, if you're afraid to fail at it, the biggest mistake in your life that you can make is to not do something because you're afraid to fail. A failure is not a failure if you are at least trying
Yeah.
to in whatever you're passionate about. So even if you fail at what you're trying to do, you learn from from that failure as well, and that failure can lead to more opportunities. So especially now in the online world, where pretty much everything, especially now during the pandemic, is done online, there is so much more opportunities out there for all of us to do
Yeah.
that we wouldn't have otherwise. So don't so that's one. And then also stop making excuses.
Excellent advice. And like you said, the failure part, I this is something, that is, uh, that's part of the 3Ds. The failing part, is the determination. You have to be determined through the failure and the obstacles and the challenges to get this done, this goal that you have, whatever is driving you. You have to be able to summon the determination to do that. And
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
And there were, when I was starting out, I had a lot of people in my life that were doubting me or laughing at my expense because, I was this person that was starting a side hustle, and I wasn't making that much money. And I was in school for 7 years. And those were people that I used to call friends. And I actually write about that book and how it made me feel in the process of everything and how it impacted me.
Mhm.
But now I can say that, those things don't matter. As long as you do, like, you need to do you need to do what you believe in, and the outside noise just doesn't matter, because it'll that if you listen to the noise, that will fail you. You just got to do you and concentrate on what you need to do. And everybody's definition of success is different. um, and that's also something that's important to note, to remember that, if your definition of success is just slowly trying and trying, that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So correct. And you bring up the point about the people who were doubting you and laughing at you. These are people that you were calling friends. And so many times in our journey, we get caught up in focusing on, the haters.
Hmm.
And my personal philosophy is, forget them. But don't even give those people the energy of your focus. As you said, focus on doing you. The more energy you give the haters, the more they're going to keep displaying their hate. Focus on on you.
You giving attention to them is exactly what they want,
Yeah,
and you don't want to give them what they want, right?
yeah, yeah. Sometimes that the silence of you just going about what you're doing is uh is enough to uh to make the haters just go away, or cause them to be silent. Go on your journey. Don't even worry about those people.
Yeah, you just have to keep trying. And if you fail, that's okay. You have other opportunities. And I mean, failing is just a part of life. We fail.
Yeah, yeah,
And how do we learn if it's not for failure?
that's right. So like I said, your this side hustle that now has become your full time entrepreneurial pursuit. Uh,
Hmm.
what else can you tell us about it? You said that you started out, doing what with the resumes and things like that. What else can you tell us about what you do and how it impacts people?
I get I get to work with so many different people, and it amazes me. And I also, on top of epilepsy, I also have cerebral palsy.
Mm,
And so, I had, when I was going through the interview process, I saw a lot of recruiters not hire me um because of my disability,
mm,
and because of something that I really can't control.
mm,
But as a self-employed professional, I have people working with me and getting to and want to work with me because I've had those struggles. They hear the story of, this woman has cerebral palsy. She's a car accident survivor. She has epilepsy. She battles depression, and yet she's married and lives on her own, has an independent life. And so it's kind of interesting it was very interesting to me, those contradicting methods of getting the job. Because as an entrepreneur, uh, people really don't care who I am or what disability I have, as long as I get their job done, right? I mean, I had a recruiter say to me, "Oh, you can't type fast," based on assumptions, by the way. You have cerebral palsy, so you can't type. They said, but as an entrepreneur, my clients don't care how fast I type, as long as I get the job done on the due date, right? So not only was that so interesting to me, but I get to work with so many people, and so um, you know, I was really just a private person in general. Like, I wanted to keep my life to myself, so to speak, and I wanted to work with people, and I wanted people to want to work with me for my skills, my knowledge, my qualifications. But in the online world, it's really not enough anymore, especially when people don't get to see you in person. It's really not enough anymore. So I learned that to be able to be connecting with my clients, my future clients, you have to put a piece of yourself out there in the world. You have to put a piece of yourself out out on the internet, whether you like it or not. Because that way people will get to know you and a part of you, and that's how they will be able to relate and connect with you. And that's the spark. Like, that's the difference between maybe I'll work with you and yes, I want to work with you.
Wow. So you took what the job world perceived as a weakness, and in the entrepreneurial world, you turned that into a strength, that it actually causes people that you encounter to want to work with you, because they see that you can still get the job done, that and they see what you've been through, and they see that you are successful at this.
Yes. And a lot of, like, you know job searching and recruitment is based on assumptions, right? It's like a first impression, but the first impression is pretty much not, almost never correct. But what people don't necessarily understand fully is that people with disabilities, we work twice as hard to get to where we are, and we don't take having a job or getting a job for granted, because it takes us so much more work to get to be, again, successful and get a job. If you tell us to get to work at 9 a.m., we'll come at 8 a.m. because, again, we don't take the like, what comes easier for other people, we don't get that as it's not as easy for us, right? So even as, I mean, aside from the fact that people want to work with me because they hear my story, I don't, as an entrepreneur, I don't take getting a new client for granted, because, and again, not all of my clients hire me solely because I have a disability or because of my story. I have clients who want to work with me because of my knowledge and my skills and qualifications, just as I wanted them to. But again, if you have an opportunity, if you have a story to tell it. Yes, it's on the internet, and yes, it's out there for people to see. But if it's in your advantage, use it.
That's right.
Use it.
Stacie, I'm in the I recently graduated from the Les Brown Power Voice program.
Mm-hmm.
And in that program, Les Brown, one of his main point over everything else is what you have just said about sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
And by you sharing your story, that has really helped your career, because it's helping people relate to you. It's helping people see who you really are, along with the skill that you have. you know and so that's so great that as an entrepreneur, you understand that and you use it.
Yeah, and a lot of people I find they're afraid of judgment, and they're afraid of um, putting themselves out there, because I mean, even if you delete it, it's just going to be on the internet anyway.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've had people judge me as well, and I've had fears as well. Because I have cerebral palsy is a physical disability.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it really doesn't. I learned that to again do what I need to do and do my own thing, and whether people like it or not, if people don't like it, they can just hit the unfollow button. That's okay. Like, you're not going to be liked by everyone, and
Yeah.
honestly, if you're liked by everyone, you probably have a problem.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So
It's so great to hear you using what looked like a tragedy, and you've turned it into a strength. So,
honestly, I really don't see it as a tragedy. As a tragedy, I can't even say the word. I don't see it that way, because I don't believe that things happen for a reason, but I do believe that you, as a person who's already, I mean, you can't change your circumstance.
yeah.
So instead of just dwelling about it and being sad about it, you just gotta do something about it, and you gotta do something in spite of it, and despite of it, and um, really because of it. So, I mean, a part of my business works because of everything that I've endured, and I don't. I mean, if I didn't have the car accident, for instance, I probably wouldn't have taken my business as seriously. I probably would be working full time. So I believe that my plan B became better than plan A.
Mhm.
So I can't imagine myself really like working as a full-time human resources professional. I can't imagine myself being a 100% able-bodied person. And again, I'm an independent woman. I live away. I recently moved out with my husband, and so um, it's not a tragedy. It is what it is.
This.
That's life. It's if it's not one thing, it's another. People have their own struggles in their life, so just do you and make something. I just made something positive out of a negative. That's all I did. But again, there's struggle everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, you can do something about it. You can do something about those situations and circumstances. So, out of this, you have written a memoir. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
So that was a very, very interesting process. As I was battling depression, I was looking for natural ways to cope with the illness, with my mental illness. And with epilepsy, it's complicated because there could be very serious complications with mixing medication.
Mhm.
Like taking antidepressant and anti-seizure medication could get complicated. So my only way, I would say, out. I mean, you're never really out. Like, depression is depression. To my only way to manage it is doing it the natural way.
Okay.
And I was looking for different things. I was looking for doing it. I was looking at, coloring books for adults. It's really fun, by the way. I was looking at exercising. I was looking at so many different things. And then my husband recommended that I start just journaling. And I started just writing down everything that I really just couldn't talk about with any of my friends or family. Um, so my computer and Word document really became my best friends. So I
Mhm.
was writing down all my angers and all my frustrations and everything that happened. And it's called 12 Years a Woman because it was about 12 years of my life and all the things that led me to become the woman that I am today, and all the circumstances and all the what you call tragedies, um, or life mishaps, so to
Absolutely.
speak. And again, I started, so I started, then I started, um, I was looking for new ways to promote my business. And I started to post about things like my illness and my disability and everything that I'd be going through at the time. And I realized, oh, like people are interested in that. So why don't I use that to my advantage?
Mm.
And then I realized, and then I asked the question like, what if I published a book for other people to see and for other people to read? Because this is not just meant to be seen by my eyes and my eyes only. And the book was kind of like, was really just a diary. I wrote it as a diary, and I wrote it, and as I read it, I was thinking of myself as writing it as a friend rather than you know a medical professional.
Okay.
And so I saw this as another opportunity and another way to, again, I saw the book as another way to help others. I saw the book as a way to promote my business. I saw it as another way to start another business idea of mine, which is now a coaching business.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. You've been able to take this situation and really make more than one business out of it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. That is the definition of determination, determining your destination. I like it.
Thanks, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And so as we're getting close to wrapping up, let's make sure everybody knows how to get in contact with you and uh, know what type of services that you can provide to them.
So I am on Facebook. I'm at Stacie Freelance Ninja, Stacie with IE. And you can find my book on Amazon. It's called 12 Years a Woman, My Journey to Happiness. And I, as a freelance writer and a coach, I work with students, job seekers, entrepreneurs, authors, and other professionals. So if you have a book that you have written, I can edit the book. No questions asked. I've edited about 5 books already. I can mentor you in writing a book. I can mentor you with any like job interviews on top of editing and writing a resume and a cover letter. So you can work with me on an ongoing basis, one-time basis, whatever you want. I am here for you. So whether you're a job seeker, student, entrepreneur, author, or any other professional, I'm here for you.
That is great. That is great. And we have your website in the comments, sick employment with a K, SIK employment.com. So everyone, please check out Stacie. She's phenomenal. She has turned the situation around that many people would have withered away from, and she's gained an enormous amount of strength and resolve and determination. The 3Ds to success, determination, determining her own destination. It has been great having you on, Stacie.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
All right, now this is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, the 3Ds to Success, where we share stories of people who use the 3Ds to success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. As you watch this, please go to sidowsley.com and check out a free gift that I have for you that talks about aligning your goals with your values so that you can determine your own destination in life. Also, check me out on social media. All you got to do is put in Sid Owsley and you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, so forth. Also, go to my YouTube channel, The 3Ds to Success. Subscribe, like, and share. Everyone have a great day, and I'll actually be back with 2 more episodes today. So stay tuned. I'm out.